Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast, live from Monette, Missouri via the phone.
Yeah, since somebody has to go back to work and shit on the road, we didn't get to do it Sunday. Oh, why didn't we get to do it Sunday? Because we were tearing down a goddamn derby track.
Fuck Demolition Derby.
Right in the face. I think we'd be better off just drinking beer, eating barbecue, and swimming, camping, and fishing.
Dude, I am so much better on the other side of the dirt.
and
I want to be the one telling the promoters they're pieces of shit, not the piece of shit promoters.
And we can put a lot bigger damage and dent in a beer garden that way.
These listeners, I know that they're from all over, like, literally the world. We finally got the results in on that.
Yes.
Like, we've got people listening from abroad, which is insane to me.
5 separate continents.
Anybody wants to listen to me fucking mouth for an hour and a half.
Well, we have gotten pretty good at talking some shit, but on a little bit more chipper note, we had us a derby Saturday.
We had a derby. Like, that, they showed up and showed out.
Like 108 cars showed up and showed out.
You don't see that every derby. We've talked about it. It's not a thing. We've got such a great following that I had very low expectations for that derby. And I know I'll catch some shit over that because everybody's like, well, we've run your shit all year. I get that. But going into a derby that we had 170 cars at last year, and then the shadows that we had following us this year, I didn't see there being any way we'd have over 60, 70 cars.
Well, I had gotten asked pretty much all week. Hell, me and you even talked about it. I had 100 in my head. And I said, I think we could probably get 100 because I figured there'd be 30 gut and goes, 20 stocks.
You mean 41 and 30?
Yeah. They came out of the woodwork.
I know at 2 o'clock I was like, we've got cars out to the highway.
Not the
for
street.
For everybody listening that doesn't know our place, that is roughly 8 city blocks.
It's a haul. It is a haul.
Well, it's something my fat ass ain't walking.
Oh, no, that hill would suck balls.
Oh, 100%. But, dude, and what was crazy about the whole deal is it wasn't trash cars that were there.
No. No.
We gave all these guys these plates thinking we were going to get, the junky old cleanup cars, and what showed up was we allowed tanks, is what ended up happening.
Yes.
Because I would say, and somebody shoot me if I'm wrong, I don't give a shit. I would say 70% of the cars that were there did not need the extra plate.
No. Not at all.
Shit. We broke the tech line at one point with a gut and go that showed up that had to cut for the weld compact class.
That happens on them bigger jobs, as my boy would say.
I got told at one point that I needed to go have another beer because I was getting too mouthy in the tech line.
In the tech line?
Yeah. Because I had a guy that was telling me that he had a tank protector, and there wasn't shit around the tank.
Did he have a different version of a tank protector?
Well, what it was a tank protector, lower tank protector, I guess, that was buried in the packing track.
Ah.
Well, that's my tank protector. I was like, well, it's not, but good try.
Good shot, though.
But these dudes showed up, showed out.
Tech was roughly done just a smidge before, what, quarter to
Thursday.
5?
Oh, yeah.
Right in there?
Oh, yeah. We started on time for the 108 car.
Yeah. We
took them all year to figure it out.
Yeah, we were supposed to start at 5. I think we had drivers meeting at 5 because we had the power wheels, and then went right into it. And I'm kind of glad that when I set the wall on Wednesday that I just kind of wung it so we can get 41 gut and goes on the track.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was the track was so big that there was 3 separate derbies going on.
Yes.
At one time.
100%.
One on each end.
It didn't matter where you were sitting at our facility or our venue, whatever you want to call it. You got to watch action.
Yes. And some. Well, we talked.
Some nasty ass hits.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, me and you talked afterwards. You know, there were some people that I've never even heard of that were there and just going at it. Was hitting anybody and everybody, all by himself.
Well, I caught some internet scrutiny, which, backside, whatever. But they were like, you all couldn't get, whenever you threw a red flag, that they wouldn't stop. Well, we were trying to stop 3 different derbies. Shit, calm down.
Yeah. Each official on each end was, just judging a derby that was happening in front of them instead of, all over the track.
Well, and the red flags were out, but man, it wasn't like our normal track. That shit was huge.
Yes. And fast.
Is there stuff that we could have done differently? Of course. Fuck, hindsight's 2020.
Oh,
everybody knows that.
Yep. Coulda, woulda, shouldas.
But I've got a special place they can put their lips if they're worried too much about it.
On the whole part is what you're telling me?
They got to get through the front to get where I need them.
Dude, so we had the statistician just told me we had 43 gut and goes. Went out and the girl, she won it. Caden Papadopoulos pulled it out in the old Honda Odyssey.
Baby Pop.
Yes, Little Pop. Her and Brad Pentland. It came down to them two. I think Gage Luddington was right there too. Derek Ludwig. I mean, these guys. That Derek Ludwig in the 82 in that black and yellow car, he full sent that bitch, and he was running the nose of that little Honda up the asses of vans, the front of the vans.
Dude, that was one of the cleanest built gut and goes I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah, it was slick. I mean, it was like he just got this thing off the street, been driving it, spotless. He did it right. I haven't seen him before, to my knowledge. I mean, he might run over at Palmyra. He might have run at the fair show over there.
No, he is a builder. He is not a driver. That's what he said. He said, I've built all these guys' cars. He said, finally, I'm building myself a car.
Well, he built that
and
bitch.
He did.
He built it. And he drove the balls off.
The crazy thing about Little Pop is that car, that was a true gut and go, that van was.
Yeah.
No plates, aftermarket bumper, and that was it.
Yeah, street tires and still had aluminum wheels all the way around it.
There was not a cage in that car.
Really?
Nothing.
Oh, my. But what was good, she never...
Yeah, you know what Teddy's argument was on that?
Oh, God.
Well, you all said you were working with other promoters. I built this to another promoter's rules that doesn't require cages.
Understandable. It's understandable,
Well,
but
it's on a loophole.
I wouldn't want to get one of them bastards without no cage. I know she...
Well, and I mean, honestly, we know that the only reason she won is because we're friends with Teddy.
Yeah, there's some more of that internet bullshit.
Well, just like Rob and Trey winning Saturday, that's the only reason they won.
Hell, but that's the thing. Neither of them even placed.
That's my point.
They didn't even place in the Derby, so we'll kind of go. We'll go into the point stuff here in a little bit.
So we kind of wrapped the gut and go stuff up. A lot of hard hitting, lots of cars. Holy shit, lots of cars.
Yes. We rolled.
Now, I had a little bit of a family emergency, and I missed the compact, but they said, wow.
Well, John Petrowski, his front bumper tried to fornicate with the passenger door of another compact, but then they got hung.
That dude had a pointy bumper set in his lap.
In his lap. He is okay. I don't know the passenger's name. He got out. We actually had to hook the bumper with a skid steer. Because we're not known for stopping a derby and pulling skid steers out on the track. But when it's a safety issue like that, I mean, the dude couldn't even sit in his seat. The bumper came through, hit his leg, and had half of the passenger seat gone. So we actually did have to stop it, pull the bumper out with a skid steer, and then the rider, he got out. He was hobbling pretty good, but he come up and talked to me up in the booth a little bit later and said, man, is there any way that we can get this car loaded? They're wanting me to go ahead and go to the emergency room just to get checked out. They're afraid I might have a fracture. I haven't heard anything from him, but I'm hoping it was just like a bone bruise. Those things suck ass too. I mean, bone bruises hurt beyond hurt. But as long as he could go to work on Monday, that's the only thing that we ask. Anybody who runs our stuff, we want them to make sure that they can go home, with the wife and the kids and whatnot, and go to work the next day, or at least on that Monday. So, shout out to him. He took a shot. John Petrowski was there to absolutely junk that thing, and his give a damn was busted.
He got her, dude.
Oh, he toasted it. But here's another thing. We all kind of know, we've spoke to Tyler Pickens a few times, and Tyler runs all of our stuff, and we've all known that Tyler's got a few screws loose.
Yeah, but they don't know the man behind the man.
Yes, he gets that honest. Ronnie, his dad, has always tried to run our stuff. He runs everywhere too. He'll hit whatever promoter. He come up to me, he said, D, I said, what's up? He said, can I run Gage Luddington's gut and go car in the compact class? I said, well, is it runnable? I said, he died. He said, well, no. He said it threw a belt and it got hot. He said, I'm going to give it time to cool down and I'm going to throw a belt on it. I said, Ronnie, there's not a lot of what I would call, big name guys that usually run our stuff. I was like, but if you just want to pay your entry fee, yeah, we can do it. And he said, here's my cash. I said, well, go get it ready. And he sent that bitch from one end to the other.
Which Gage and them, they were wanting that car gone anyway.
It's gone.
And they couldn't have put a better person in it.
You didn't even, I don't think you got to see him. He was in there right before I was starting to count down. He was dancing in the car. He was so wound up that he got to run. He was actually dancing, like doing the Macarena or some shit. And I mean, you know, that's the thing about Ronnie. I've seen the guy upset one time. He's just not, he's just, it's so much fun to him. And he had a little health issue this summer, and that really messed his plans up pretty bad, you know. So the doctor gave him his clearance. I think he got some medicine changed. And he's back in it, and he's just ready to go. He is going to be one of those guys that he wants to, we have talked to him. He wants to come to the dungeon. He doesn't want to do it over the phone. But we're definitely going to get him on and have him hang out with us for a day and see what kind of crazy shit we can get Ronnie to, you know, fess up to. So, but dude, Camden Uplinger, he don't think he didn't bust my nuts. He's like, what's this retirement shit? I was like, well, dude, I haven't seen you in 2 years. He said, man, I have been derbying. He said, it just really hasn't been around here. And he said, I got so much stuff going on with, you know, family and work stuff. He's like, but, you know, we're going to run it down. And Camden, I don't think he had any luck. Something happened. Who did it come? I can't remember who it came down to. Shit. See, I'm getting put on the spot now.
Which one?
I don't even remember having a derby, so don't ask me.
And it wasn't because you were drinking.
No.
Our compacts came down to, that's who won it. I forgot about that. We had the couple of the Salisbury Connection guys. Kyle Boss, and it came down to Kyle Boss and Gary Linhoff. Logan Adams went out in third. Logan's shit was toast. But after Gary and Kyle got it on at the end, nose to nose, several times, I think both of those are pretty much done. But, you know, we had 10 of those cars. They put on a really good show for the 10, you know. Dude, but then we turned around and we hit the stock class, which we had 30 plus of those. Caden tried to double up, little pop. Her and Teddy built a Chevy wagon, you know, like the Roadmaster or whatever. I told her, I was walking through the line and I said, hey, you do know you've got the whole ass end of a station wagon that you get to use. You don't need to use the nose. Teddy said, well, she's kind of like Austin Johnson Jr. in that aspect. She's probably not going to drive backwards at all. I said, uh-oh. I think she run it down to hell top 10 before something happened, and I'm not real sure what happened.
She got stuck on the dirt.
Was it? But these guys put on a show. That Josh Clark.
I had trouble picking out, my favorite part of that class because there was so much going on.
Yes. Yeah. Who I was talking about was that Josh Clark. I've never seen him run, to my knowledge, and he was in a new style, and wow.
Yeah.
Which he took home third in the Mad Dog. And then it come down to...
And deserved every bit of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But one of the members of A-Right, Blizzard Bash team, he pulled out the win. Mr. Blake Holtz.
Are you talking about Ace Ventura?
Ace Ventura.
I asked him when he pulled off the track, he said, Ace, you got any of that gum left? And Blake leaned out the window and he said, that's none of your damn business, Dan.
Yeah. And another guy I was really impressed with, he didn't have a whole lot left when he got there. Sawyer Baker, man. His shit was hurt. Left front locked up.
I have talked to Sawyer for a long time. I've known the guy for 5 years or so. That dude, somehow, no matter what he's in, ends up at the end of his derby.
Hurting. I mean, hurting. Left front was locked smooth up.
He was freewheeling over half the derby.
He was what?
He was freewheeling.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, left front lock smooth up. Couldn't hardly turn it. And then when it come down to him and Blake and Josh, I think Josh Clark lost some steering and Blake kind of took advantage of that. You know, the ass end of that olds that he's got. The nose was up pretty good on Josh Clark's stuff, and Blake let him eat it a couple times between the ass end of Blake's car and the wall, and you know that did Josh in. And I thought, well, you know, Sawyer, he's going to have second, but he just wouldn't. It just wouldn't quit, and that's what was really surprising.
Well, you want to jump into the street stock stuff?
Oh my! One of the guys that runs stock class all the time with us, he decided to take what he had left from August show in Paris. He put he put a big long bumper bracket on and put him some more plates, and he come and sent that bitch, Mr. Denny Weaver. Teddy P took Caden's car that she didn't have no luck with, and he come up to both of us. We were standing there, and he says, man, he said, can I run that in the street stock class? And you kind of looked at me, and I kind of looked at you, and I thought, well, what the hell? And you looked at Teddy and said, pay your $50. He paid you. I went and got a stick and some duct tape and stuck it on there, and I'll be damned if he didn't run her down to second. The Ed and Ted connection, 1 and 2 again. Which Ed, Mr. Eddie Chick himself, he brought his leftover car from Mother's Day Madness, fixed it from, you know, what he had left, and he ended up pulling out the big fat dub and the big $1,800 check, you know. So hats off to Eddie, wheeling that thing down, you know, just like an old Wiley veteran.
The dude's a driver.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Also
one of our friends. I mean, hell, that's why he won.
Him and Grant Bowling, they were putting on a show with each other.
Holy shit. That was such a hard-fought battle. And I wanted to make sure that Grant didn't draw a short straw on that. So I was constantly watching to make sure, you know, that the mosquito, Eddie Chick, wasn't holding or anything like that.
Correct.
And honestly, Eddie had his own work cut out for him.
Oh, he did. He did. You know, that was, I think, 23 to 25 cars or something like that, you know. There was still enough. It happened right in front of you. There was 3 cars nose to nose in a little triangle doing donuts, trying to, you know, get the leg up on somebody.
That shit was cool too.
It was like almost like synchronized swimming or, you know, water polo or some shit like that.
Dude, we got to hear I mean, some screaming LS motors.
Dakota Kissinger.
Holy shit. That T-Bird was hard.
Oh, dude. It was no joke. LS, he didn't give two shits.
Well, if he would have been a little bit closer friends with us, he might have gotten the money.
Well, Gary Robinson, he came over and tried to finish one off. Tanner McElfresh run Gary's other car. They were trying to finish him off. In Dakota, and you had Grant. Them guys just.
Rick Hammond worked his ass off.
Yeah, he did. I bet you Rick was wore out on Sunday.
Dude, he was driving.
He was.
That was some old school Rick Hammond driving that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Them guys, they were running for $1,800 to win, and we've even spoken about that. That's one thing that we always took pride in. Our normal, just regular fair show payouts were as good as anybody, if not better. And then our cleanup show, which this was, it pretty much just surpassed anybody's payout, pretty much all year. So, them guys, you could tell they were running for that, that kind of cash.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it takes a lot of work to make all that stuff happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to rig a derby like that.
Well,
I mean, there's weeks of planning that goes into that shit.
There is, and I think, didn't you get called a proverbial cocksucker and all kinds of stuff?
Oh, I was the worst motherfucker you could imagine.
Yeah, not too many times I lose my shit, but if anybody else had to witness that, I apologize. I did kind of lose my shit. Your mom got,
I did too.
Your mom got to witness it. So she kind of busted my nuts a little bit when I was over at the house on Sunday. So, and
I did too. I lost my cool a little bit. I normally don't do that. I'm more. I try to stay as professional as possible in a derby setting. On this podcast, not at all. Not even a little bit. But in our derby setting, where that's our business, I usually take that shit with stride and let it roll off my back. I think all of the nut kicking and trash talking and shit finally built up.
Yep.
On Saturday, and I lost my shit.
Yeah.
And kind of acted out in a way that I'm not real proud of, but I did it. I'll own that shit. Whatever.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have, but I did.
I've always
I'm
used
just telling you, all these people that come up and talk all that shit, I want them to go put on derbies. Go do it.
Just try it once. They don't even have to do it all the time.
In the fucking year, do it.
Yeah, just do one time, and 95% of them will say, "Fuck that."
Yeah, I mean, shit. We had cinnamon rolls before the derby, and we had cake and ice cream after the derby. What more do these fucking people want from us?
When the fuck did we get ice cream? Because I never saw no ice cream.
There wasn't no ice cream.
Oh, okay.
The Heroes didn't bring it. They were supposed to.
Okay. That's the thing. We've always said we're human. My philosophy has always been... We're really
shitty human. Just ask everybody on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, my philosophy is a balloon will only hold so much air before it pops. So, in human nature, you can only take so much shit before you pop.
Well, here's how I like to sum it up. A Steven will only take so much before you have to suck the backside of his dick.
From the front.
I mean, you know, I had 7 messages before I left that derby, before we got everybody out there telling me how big of a piece of shit I was.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's.
I'd like everybody to add up what we paid out in payouts, not counting porta potties, food, and beer, and a whole net profit or a whole net income of the whole derby being around 19.5. Whenever your payouts are over that 15,000 mark, porta shitters are like $850. I spent $1,500 in food and another $1,200 in beer. I don't know if I'm not the smartest motherfucker in the world, but those numbers aren't adding up to me.
No, it's pretty much that zero number.
Yeah.
That is a lot of bullshit you got to deal with for that zero number. But on a higher note, we did get some shit from people who didn't know we were having a points championship. That being said, I told them you guys should be listening to the podcast because I don't want somebody to come into our show.
I went back and looked at every time that was talked.
Just to, the statistician has even hit on a couple Facebook posts that we were actually did talk about the points championship stuff. That I don't want somebody just to come run our shows just because we were going to have a points championship. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want them to come run our shows because it's fair tech, it's killer payout, and it's awesome competition. That's why I want somebody to come run our shows. I don't want to hear, well, I'm just here for the points. Well, you know what? The least you know about that point, the more true people that we're going to get. And we did.
Well, and honestly, I know that people like weekly updates on that stuff, but we have such an intricate system that your wife and my wife deal with as far as sign in, all that shit. We have every drop of information anybody could ever want from every derby we've put on.
Yep.
At the click of a button.
Yes. So, just like Friday, Tanya told me that we had 170 different drivers that have ran our shows this year.
Not counting Mother's Day Madness.
Not counting Mother's Day Madness. And
that right there is something in itself to me because I've seen where the Wood Boys posted what they had show up to their different types of events, like their figure eight and stuff like that. And they had 250 different drivers, which is awesome.
Yes.
Love seeing that. I love it. But for us, just running traditional derbies, like I said, not counting the Mother's Day Madness stuff, to have 170 different guys interested in running our shit is amazing.
Yep. And that's the 170 different drivers who signed in and passed tech. Not counting the 112 cars at Mother's Day.
Right. And that being said, let's jump into the Point Series winners.
We did it a little bit different. You kind of put that in my lap a little bit. Me and you had talked.
No, I didn't put that in your lap a little bit. I said, no, motherfucker, you're doing the points. I don't want no part of it.
So how we broke this down was 10 points to show up, 50 points for first, 30 for second, 20 for third, with a Mad Dog of 25. The Mad Dog...
And just so everybody knows, ties were a wash.
Yes.
So if you tied for any position, nobody got any points for that.
Correct. If you ran two classes for one show, We took the best finish out of the two, and the other one got washed out. We didn't really have a pay scale set up until just a couple weeks ago, and that's when me and you really sat down and figured it out. We knew it was going to be a chunk. But what we actually did is we did the top 3 for your overall points. That was all classes together. And then winners for each class. Everybody's like, well, did I get top 3? Well, it doesn't matter because we're only paying the top. 3 of the guys who won their classes was in the top 3 for overall.
Which, I mean, we knew it was going to happen. Like, that's how that worked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, the guy who I figured would win it, he ended up getting second because he had 2 shows that he did not get in the top 3.
And he tied for a Mad Dog.
Yes. So he didn't get any points for his Mad Dog because it was a tie. And we only counted the top 3 finishing spots instead of the top 5 or 10. I mean, it would have took months if we would have just kept going down the line. If somebody finished 22nd, how do they get a point, a half a point, all that shit. But Mr. Rob Hewer took home a fat championship belt and a pretty big fat check along with it. Teddy runner down to third.
Yep.
He took home a little bit of cash. He won the street stock as well for the individual class. And then Mr. Tyler Pickens, he did the same thing. He got second overall and took home his class. Just want to give them guys shout outs to supporting us as much as they could. I mean, Tyler supported us every show.
Thanks for the loyalty,
I have noticed. Tyler's got a few screws loose, but he's a loyal sumbitch.
Yeah, if we ever get in a fight somewhere, I want to make sure he's there.
Word.
I know that Tanya made a post on our Hard Nosed Derby podcast page, about, we're recording on a Tuesday and over the phone and all that shit. Our Washington fella, Jeremy Petty, he said, shout out to the dude in Washington. Well, here it is, buddy.
Well, I actually spoke to him earlier this week. We are going to get him on the phone. He can't come and chill with us. But
why not?
Well, I mean, if he wants to, you've been out there. What is it, 1,800 miles? I don't think he could probably get back to work on Monday. But he's a derbier out there.
Well, he better get his ass on a plane.
We are actually going to get Mr. Jeremy Petty on the phone once I did tell him, once some Blizzard Bass stuff got over and it slowed down a little bit, we're going to get his take on the Derby situation and scenario, in the Northwest. This guy's from the state of Washington. See how much different it is out there that far, and then we all kind of know the Utah guys, they've got screws loose too. How the progression goes from all the way west, all the way to New York.
Well, with our seasonal retirement, I'm hoping we can start reaching out across the United States and grabbing some of these dudes that are loyal listeners, that Derby out of state. Oh, I want to hear about that. I want to know about that. I'm curious. Talk to me.
Correct. I'd love to maybe go to Utah next year to go watch it one time or something like that, or even go up, what's that one in South Dakota or North Dakota?
Yeah.
This big-ass different stuff.
I hate to be this guy, but I am on the road, and my ass has to get up in the morning. So I think I'm going to let you take it from here, if you don't mind, Derek.
That'll work.
And I'm going to jump my dirty ass in the shower and get ready for a full day of butt fuckery tomorrow.
Well, good luck with that. Tell them that they can get it from the back, and we will see we'll see when you get home.
Sounds good. I'm planning on being out this bitch Friday.
Well, we'll get the next episode lined up.
10-4, man. I will catch you when I get back.
All right, bro. You know, this episode is a little bit different. Bill's call, you know, but everybody, you know, is so. We just want to thank everybody that's had a part in our shows this year. From Mother's Day Madness, Salisbury, Shelbina, Boone County, all the people around Paris, all the sponsors that we had, you know, out of nowhere, like Bobcat of Columbia, they reach out, give us whatever we need. I mean, it's just so cool, you know, to have that, you know, kind of stand-up people that will just drop everything to come help us out. This has been a very long summer. It started back in January. You know, when we released the schedule, the Track Shot Live guys, you know, coming hanging out with us at Mother's Day Madness. You know, Josh Decker sent Bobby Brockway and Skinny to hang out with us for a few days, and you know, to really put Filthy Promotions for this year as kind of a pace setter of what's going to happen for all the shows around this area. Want to thank all of our techs. Don Reno, Derek Dudley, Jerry Lyerly, Tony Miller, Justin Myers, Cedric Bronson, and Sid usually had a couple guys, you know, had Boob with him and Jess. Everybody who's had a part in helping us out, you know, myself, my wife, and Stephen and Alicia, you know, we thank you all so much for standing by us, doing what you can. I mean, rolling around in the dirt, teching cars in 110-degree weather. You know, we can't give you all a shout out enough of and Pete, you know, Petey got to hang out with us just a little bit, but work kind of kept him away from us. You know, and then Cy. You know, we took Cy. He has been a fireman and EMS and dispatcher and stuff, you know, so Cy came on board, try to make sure we stay as safe as possible, because we actually do preach safety. We want everybody safe, no matter if Cy was with us or not. But he really oversaw that, you know, just to make sure everything was on the up and up and we weren't putting anybody in jeopardy. I want to thank all the drivers and the crew members for working with us. In a normal Derby year, everybody are going to have a few guys that they refuse to cut. And they're always, you know, well, we'll just save it for the next. We'll just save it for somewhere else. And we completely understand that. You know, the hours spent on building the cars, the money spent on building the cars. When somebody wants to overbuild a little bit and they know they can get it in somewhere else, well, you know, we support that. We did have two guys that had perfect attendance for our shows. One was Tyler Pickens, one was Cody Bedsworth. Two guys that we had on just a couple weeks ago. They supported every show that we had. Tyler was there Saturday. He didn't have a car. Saturday didn't count as a points show because it was a cleanup show. But I want to give them guys shout outs, especially, A, for being on the show with us, and B, supporting us as Filthy Promotions as much as they did. Guys, it has been, like I said, it has been a super long summer. Our messenger and everything is already blown up. We will have some stuff probably out on Facebook, hopefully as soon as he gets back. We're actually having a little bit of family time this weekend, so neither of us are really going to be around on the social media side very much. So
if anybody doesn't have any plans this coming weekend, Austin's having the P Hill cleanup show. I believe he's allowing like 14 plates on a street stock. Other plates, for your other classes too. Fish fry, pulled pork, live band. He's taking care of you guys. I believe it's like $15 to get in. Pits or grandstands or whatever. So if you don't have anything going on, it's great weather. It's looking like it's going to be a great show. He's, like I said, he's hooking you guys up again. So, go over there, support that show, support everything that he has done for the Terry Lyerly Memorial shows all summer long. So, man, like I said, if you're bored, just go hit it up. You will not be disappointed.
We have some really good guests coming up. We did do. We went to a shop. Well, I went to a shop, and Steven was actually working earlier in the year. We're going to hit them guys again before Blizzard Bash. We're going to hit guys across the river as well before Blizzard Bash. I understand Blizzard Bash is just a few weeks away, actually. So our schedule is pretty damn tight to get this stuff out. So, like I said, just keep listening, guys. Just keep listening. Share it as much as you can. Let's get this out there even more than what it is now. We greatly appreciate everybody who listens and downloads it every week. What is very cool is that I don't know if I cut through with Steven or not, but we actually are being listened to in 5 separate continents. And that shit's cool. You guys putting the word out as much as you can to get us out and rolling. So this one's going to be a little shorter than normal. We'll throw that out there. But we're going to regroup this weekend on Sunday, and we're gonna blast a pretty good one out. So, guys, like I said, I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you, everything you guys have done for us. Anybody who had a part in anything, from Filthy Promotions to the Hard Nosed Derby podcast, we appreciate you guys. So just stay tuned. We're going to have some badass guests on over the winter as well. We're going to be going to a lot of different shops and hanging out, seeing some build process. We all know Blizzard Bash is the hot item right now. But, just a few short months down the road, everybody's going to be going to Whiskey City and Carnage as well. So, like I said, guys, thank you all so much from the bottom of our hearts, and make jump.